Miftachul Wachyudi, or familiarly called Yudee, was born in Gresik, the 7th of November 1981 to be precise, in Bunga district, Gresik Regency. His grandfather, named H. Solhan, was an independence fighter who after retiring joined a boarding school as secretary of the foundation. Grandpa Yudee once told me that at that time when the Dutch came to Surabaya he dived in a puddle of water to hide before coming out and attacking the Dutch. Yudee's father, Miftachul Wachyudi, was an entrepreneur before becoming a foundation employee. When he was 6 years old, his father died of lung disease. At that time Yudee was still in grade 1 Madrasah Ibtidaya Ma'arif elementary school. 3 years later her mother, named Misholia, was called by the Almighty because of uterine cancer. At the age of 8, in an orphaned state, Grandpa Yudee, H. Solhan, planned to send him to the academy, but his mother's family wanted him to be sent to Denpasar. To his sisters, an older brother named Tatik Fatmawati and a younger sister named Laylatur Roma. Laylatur Roma accompanied her maternal grandmother, while Tatik Fatmawati and Yudee, who were only 8 years old, were accompanied by their maternal aunt to join 2 uncles and 1 uncle's cousin, who was in Denpasar, who had been there since around the mid-70s. Anne, in Denpasar, lived with 2 uncles and 1 cousin, uncle. Misbach's first uncle, H.M., mother's biological sister, married a woman from Gianyar Regency who has a night caste, Desik Dewa, descendant of the king, and has 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, cousin. From Yudee. Yudee's biological mother is a descendant of Majapahit statesmen, Hayam Wuruk and Gajah Mada. This is evidenced from historical and geographical stories. Relics were also found near the place of birth, although it is debatable, but apart from all that, the spirit of statesmanship possessed by Yudee has been seen since being educated in various situations and environmental conditions anywhere. The second uncle, named Ferry H.M., mother's younger brother, married a woman from Karangasem Regency, Antigua district, and has 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl. Uncle's cousin, named Malik, married to a woman from the state district who is also a night caste, Dewa Ayu, has 3 children. Little Yudee grew up in a heterogeneous, pluralistic environment and associates with all kinds of ethnicities, tribes, nations, religions, from various circles and various groups, castes. Grew up in a family that loved so much that the longing was there. Moved to Denpasar, his uncle, Misbach, studied at SD Muhammadiyah I, close to Puri Pemekutan. The house where he lived was quite far from the school, so he had to walk in the middle of the city, so there were not so many activities at school other than regular school time. The roads that are often traversed are Jalan Gajah Mada and Jalan Hayam Wuruk, so that these 2 figures are always remembered and studied. Yudee is also sociable with all her friends both at school and at home, as well as with all the people there, both the lower and upper classes. Stepping into junior high school, her aunt, who is originally from Gianyar, enrolled Yudee to SMP Negeri 4 Denpasar. Here more activities are followed, among others, taking part in extra pencak silat, karate, basketball, badminton, swimming, football, and literature. In the academic field, the achievements achieved are the top 3 Danam highest. After that, he decided to continue to SMK Negeri 1 Denpasar. Sports activities that are followed include pencak silat, karate, basketball, badminton, football. For Porsini, Sports and Arts Week, the pencak silat branch was followed. At the time the Puputan Margarana street movement was held, he won the 2nd place in Bali. After finishing school, he decided to work in a private company. During 1999 to 2004, he moved to various places. Starting from Lombok Island, Ampinan, Mataram, Cakranagara, then to Sumbawa Besar, Dampu, Bima, Sape, moving again to Labuhan Bajo, Rutung, Bajawa, Enda on the island of Flores, until crossing again to the islands of Enda, West Nusa Tenggara and East Nusa Tenggara. During those years most of the time was spent interacting with the community so that they more or less knew their condition, had opened a business in Mataram. Studied with one of the entrepreneurship lecturers of Stain Mataram Lombok, who is also the secretary of the branch of the Democratic Party named Sharifuddin MPD. Self-entrepreneur as an agent for lecture books. Hang out with the president. The BEM of the University of Mataram made Yudee think more deeply about student activities in the organization. Likewise, when he joined as an APKLI member, Yudee felt the conditions experienced by the surrounding community. Economic conditions forced Yudee to return to Denpasar in mid-2004. Until 2008 he studied at the Indonesian University of Technology Denpasar, until the end of 2008 when Lebaran. Going home to the place of birth, and coincidentally there was a legacy of abandoned parents, namely a plot of land which was finally transformed become a shop. While managing a business, continuing his studies and actively organizing as the president of the Student Executive Board, BEM, at one of the universities in Indonesia. Then formed a street protection organization to accommodate the aspirations of street vendors. After completing his bachelor's degree, he decided to create an organization, namely PIA, Persatuan Indonesia Ageng, on October 1, 2013 to coincide with Pancasila Sanctity Day at 000 WIB as an idea, thought at that time, and also as a form of contribution to national politics even though it was not yet registered, and has members, as founder and chairman. 5 days later, on October 5, 2013 to coincide with TNI Day, they had another idea to create another organization, namely GERABIMA, Gerakan Indonesiabesardanmaju, in West Java on the 10th of May 2013 at 17:05 WIB. And also a strange and sad event occurred, namely the occurrence of Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, which claimed 10,000 lives and lost 160 trillion on the 11th of November 2013. On Sunday, October 15, 2013, after performing the Eid al-Adha prayer, Yudee made a trail trip to Trowulan via the closest route, namely from Bunga, Sembayat, Manyar, Bunder, Serme, Balang Ponggong, Mojokerto and Trowulan to observe the atmosphere of Eid al-Qurban for the surrounding community is also recreational, as well as learning about the golden age of Majapahit in the past. In Yudee's daily behavior, even though her wealth is increasing, Yudee continues to live as a simple person. He prefers to use his wealth for other things, more important things. People around Yudee really love and care for Yudee. He is known for his commendable qualities. Everyone loves him very much, because he is a trustworthy person. Miftachul Wachyudi, Yudee, is a person who fully believes in the oneness of Allah, God Almighty, imitating the Prophet Muhammad SAW. Yudee lives a very simple life and hates greedy traits, arrogant. He is known to love the poor, the underprivileged and orphans, and share the suffering by trying to help them. He also avoids all evils such as gambling, drinking liquor, abusive behavior and others. On the other hand, he is known as a defender of the truth. Miftachul Wachyudi, Yudee, is a candidate for President of the Republic of Indonesia from the Indonesian Wibawa Party, formerly Jurabima, the Great Indonesia Association and OPKL.